So there's just, you know, a lot of this we will have already seen. A lot.
So Hutch has actually been going really hard. Um, yeah, he's been going really hard against Destiny these days. Okay, just because he's like molding about how Destiny is like criticizing Hutch. I think the worst part of this. I think the worst part of this is that Hutch. I think I was told by Radiant that Hutch completely misunderstands Destiny's position as well, which is the worst thing. Like, it's fine if you disagree. It's just like another thing entirely if you like don't even know what's going on, I guess. But basically, what happens is that I told Destiny. I was the first one that told Destiny about Hutch versus Josiah, and Destiny reacted to it on stream. And Destiny was mostly on Josiah's side. Destiny criticizes Hutch, and now Hutch is molding. Okay, because yeah, this debate came back to haunt Hutch, and this was actually the debate where it's like the last straw, I guess, for Josiah to like stop streaming entirely. So yeah, so keep that part in mind, and good luck.
You guys will have already seen the conversation with Josiah, but I'm focusing on Destiny's commentary on the conversation. So there's a lot of this that's going to be a repeat. You know, you've seen a lot of this conversation, but we're waiting for, it's about like his commentary. So we'll just get into it.
Democrats being seen as more extreme. I have a book more somewhere. It's a recent poll.
Josiah's been weirdly hostile / irritated towards Hutch for the past
He conflates a socialist black pill with a centrist lid black pill. It's annoying.
couple of months. Felt like every disagreement Hutch had, Josiah took it as a, you're just giving me a hard time.
Destiny just disagrees with Hutch. She didn't go hard on him at all. No, I'm saying Destiny didn't go hard on Hutch. Okay, he's just criticizing. All right, but Hutch is the person that made like a. Oh my god! Did he react to Destiny for an entire 9 hours? Like,
Right now. Wait, what is even the division on this show? I'm so confused. I wasn't, because Pisco for a while was the guy who was like, we need to make friends with the left, and then Hutch fought a lot against that. I don't know what Josiah was even saying about that. I don't understand where these guys' minds are for everything. But I don't watch it a lot, so maybe it'd be more obvious if I watched more. I just don't have time to consume all the stuff.
Actually, it's starting to turn around. More Americans believe that the Republican Party finally is more extreme than
I don't think what you just read is true.
I don't. It's not true.
the Democratic Party. I'm trying to find this poll for you.
Do you still have a cough?
Yeah, bro.
Bro,
It's
like a 3-week cough, man. That's crazy.
it's brutal.
Tell you what, we're actually going to skip a little bit ahead into the conversation. You go to a doctor?
I have.
Skip
They gave me a
right
sick-
here.
First. Like, what do we...
I just want to say that I reacted to the debate, and there's no way it even approached 5 hours. Okay, nor did it approach 3 hours. I'm pretty sure it was just 2.5 hours. But to be fair, Hutch is like reacting to commentary, right? So Hutch is reacting to commentary to a long debate.
waiting.
Like whatever legislation they can get with a simple majority. And so, you know,
They can do that. They can do that.
Oh yeah, and apparently Radiant got banned from Hutch's chat, I guess.
No, like Democrats right now started, if it was like a party-wide strategy, you know, Schumer. Okay, so just to catch you, I'm just going to assume not everybody saw the video. We're having a conversation about the potential plan, or the hypothetical plan, that Democrats right now should run on expanding the court. Like the Democratic Party leadership, the party should get out there and start telling voters, well, the next time you give us power, we are going to expand the Supreme Court. And Josiah's position is that it's such a crucially
15-hour Destiny reaction incoming. Hello, Kino?
important thing that needs to be done, that we
Don't
need to
tease me
start
with a
showing
good
real
time.
leadership and just full-throatedly just running on it. And by doing that, if we can get the right messaging and the right leadership, we can sway public opinion. Because right now, the public opinion for expanding the court is just really bad. It's just bad. It's just like 30 to 35%, depending on which poll you look at. And that question doesn't even specify.
You can manifest the will for that. You can become Green Lantern. You have it in you to acquire the ring, okay?
Why do you want the Democrats to expand the
luck.
Supreme Court? Because some percentage of that percentage, 35%, are going to be Republicans.
Not the last straw. He already said it was decided a week before the talk. Okay. Listen, okay? I decided to be canon, okay? It's canon. I'm kidding, joking.
Who think that Republicans should add more people to the Supreme Court. So I don't know if we have a precise number of what percentage of the public.
Hutch was made for you to train your 2x speed comprehension. Okay, fine. Let's take a look. Oh my god, did they act? Oh my god, they added 4 times. Holy shit.
Wants Democrats to expand the Supreme Court, but I would assume it's in the 20s, in the fucking 20s. In the video that you're reacting to, can I pin videos to other channels? Can I do that?
Okay,
Did they change
just do
that
that
TOS?
speed. Good luck.
Like, can I pin a kick video? I don't know if I can do that. I'm a little sketchy on that. Oh, pin my vid? Yeah, I guess we can do that. So that's Josiah's position is, well, just show leadership and get out there. And I don't want to like strawman him, but because I felt like, yeah, whatever. Just, he definitely thinks that the Democratic Party should make expanding the court like one of the pillars of our policy platform. And what I'm saying is that I don't even necessarily disagree that I think we probably do need to expand the court. I lean towards, well, we probably need to do that. But it's not a great option. Like neither option is great. And even though I support in principle the idea that it might be necessary, my position is that we can't run on that. Like that is not an option that I think makes any sense. For a number of reasons, but the most important reason is we are not in power right now. They are in power. The Republicans can get rid of the filibuster tomorrow if they want to. Hutch is a pussy ass bitch. Confirmed. The way that I think that if the Democrats were ever to expand the Supreme Court, it would I think it would look something like what happened with gay marriage during Obama's presidency. But I don't think this is something that we can just like we are totally out of power right now. We have.
I just don't understand this reaction to Destiny, but refusing to talk to him about anything. Yeah, because he'll get bodied in a debate. And I think Hutch recognizes that. And by the way, Hutch has never been the best at debating either. Like, Hutch got bodied by Fabian Liberty. How do you get bodied by Fabian Liberty? Yeah, I don't know. Like, the thing is that, like, he's not exactly the best. Okay, let's just put it like that. He also gets mad.
No leverage in that fight right now in this moment. There's just none. I told him in this conversation that I might be willing to entertain having people more visible about this proposal after the midterms if we win. I'm more open to it then, but even then, I am deeply skeptical that the Democratic Party should run on something that is so unpopular.
Fabian Liberty, a loser.
Which is to me just kind of like a straightforward analysis. Just conventional political wisdom says, generally, politicians don't run on really unpopular proposals. Like, when has that ever happened? Like, ever? You know, if we just think of like modern history, like when has this ever happened? Did you guys know that FDR, listen, you guys are smart people, you're well-read, you read up on history, so I assume probably most of you guys know that FDR, among the many things that he tried to do, FDR wanted to expand the Supreme Court. And his party controlled 3/4 of the entire Congress. I mean, this guy had fucking insane majorities. And he couldn't whip the votes to expand the Supreme Court. And I think more importantly than that, and here's something that I think is really...
Bro, please slow this shit down, holy fuck. What, you don't understand? Okay, fine. I'll slow it down to 1.5, okay? This guy, dude, Hutch talks so slowly.
Interesting and very relevant to the discussion.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'll just summarize what he believes, okay? Hutch believes that there is not enough political willpower right now, and the people don't actually believe that, like, changing the courts in a way where you are packing the court or increasing the limit for the amount of justices on the Supreme Court as a viable solution, because so many people are against it. If anything, Hutch is afraid of it, just mainly because if you try to push for that in mainstream media right now, what will happen is that the Republicans will pick up on it, and then they will retaliate by increasing the court limit themselves and putting more Supreme Court justices who are conservative. This is the best faith representation of Hutch's opinion, okay? The counter for me against that is that I think that the Republicans will do it anyway the moment the Supreme Court is no longer in their favor. So you should try to push the rhetoric early so that you can generate enough willpower for when Democrats are next in power, right? With any kind of retaliation, just know that like they can come up with any kind of excuse themselves to pack the courts. So does that make sense? These are the two positions. All right, these are the two positions. The problem is Destiny has become a mix of Voldemort and Beetlejuice to Hutch and some of his community. Yeah, I know. I don't think Hutch would be principally against like debating Destiny. I think he's just, oh my god, dude. You know what? Hutch has always been like kind of a scaredy cat. Okay, like he's always been kind of a fucking like he's afraid of being doxxed. He got doxxed. Obviously, you should be afraid of being doxxed, but like, I mean, for the love of God, he's been a content creator for like 10 years. Okay, as fucking did COD shit in COD lobbies. And if you want to avoid Destiny because you're afraid of anti-fans, then you might as well just not react to him whatsoever. But instead you're reacting to him and you're still getting the anti-fan attention. It's like, oh my god, dude. So fucking cringe. Is the Republican media pushing it really a crucial part of Hutch's argument? Right now, Hutch seems to be saying the public will be against it even regardless of media. Yes. 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 Basically, Hutch is basically saying that, like, if we try to push this in mainstream media, Republicans will retaliate. And he's afraid of that retaliation.
Support for expanding the Supreme Court actually flipped against him. Public support went down like 15 points after he started publicly pushing for it. The public turned on him. And it went from like 40% of Americans disapprove of expanding the
He doesn't want to talk to Steven, but he'll talk to every insane, retarded leftist or MAGA loon out there. Yeah. But you have to keep in mind that Steven's anti-fans are like disproportionately toxic compared to MAGA and like lefties. Except for maybe Hassan.
Supreme Court to like 55%. So the more he pushed it, the less popular that got. Anyways, so that's kind of the context here, just in case you guys haven't seen the original video. And Pelosi and Jeffries and all the major, like, we are going to get rid of the filibuster. What was the polling on the VRA when it was passed? My understanding is that the polling on the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act were popular. Both of those. How did the Civil Rights Act and Voting Rights Act poll with the U.S. public right before they passed? My understanding was that support for these were like in the 60s at the time. I could be wrong about that. September 1964 Gallup poll. It asked the question after the Civil Rights Bill passed, and it said, in general, do you approve or disapprove of this law? And for the Civil Rights Act, it was 59% approved, 31% disapproved. I'm getting phone calls. What's going on?
Uh-oh, it's the anti-fans.
When asked a month later whether enforcement of the law should be strict from the beginning or gradual/persuasive, 62% preferred gradual, persuasive, 23% wanted strict enforcement. Voting Rights Act. 1964, a poll found that 86% approved. 86% approved of a law to give Black Americans equal rights in voting. What the fuck? Even in the South, white Southerners, 49% of white Southerners approved of the Voting Rights Act. My understanding is that the landscape changed drastically after JFK was assassinated. So LBJ was able to use JFK's status as a martyr to really pounce on the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act. My understanding is that public opinion shifted pretty drastically. I could be wrong about that. They would get rid of it immediately right now, and then it's like, okay, well, are we repealing and replacing Obamacare at this point? Like, are we doing a federal abortion ban? Like, the dam would open immediately. And right now, the Democrats, I think, are at it, especially if this VRA decision comes from the Supreme Court and it makes it like that much more difficult for Democrats to take power. It's like, you have to, like, I think there's something to be said about just being smart about when you take your shot at something. And like right now, Democrats just have no leverage to like make these kinds of threats. And the threat of Republicans getting ahead of it and then putting in even more institutional hurdles for the Democratic Party that will make their job of taking power eventually that much more difficult. I just feel like we're in no position.
Why did Biden and Kamala even mention it? I don't think they made it nearly as much of a priority. But why did they endorse Supreme Court reform while Biden was in office in his final year and before the election? Why did both of them do that?
Well, they endorsed Supreme Court reforms, but they didn't endorse packing the court.
So that's the red line.
The VRA was passed prior to King's assassination. No. I said the JFK assassination. King was assassinated, I think, in like 67 or 68. Then the Voting Rights Act, I think, was passed in 64. Right?
You're saying when it comes to packing the court, that's the one you don't, the others, term limits, binding codes of conduct, things of that nature, that's something we can afford to take a shot at while we're in power during the campaign. It's literally expanding the court.
Yeah, because once you start expanding the court, that's Pandora's box just burst wide open.
So you don't support expanding the court?
No. Akeem with $10, would you support Secret Project 2028 having court reform expansion even if the candidate doesn't explicitly have it on their running platform? This admin has shown reform is needed if unpopular. Well, the problem is that support for court reform polls like insanely well. That's my understanding. I don't want to speak out of turn here. I'm pretty sure it polls in like the 80s. And then you would have to get into specifics. And so, like, oftentimes when you
I would say that like going for court reform, if the difference is really that vast, then you should probably push for court reform, because that would be way more easier to try to get done and way more easier to be trying to create the political willpower for. With that being said, again, you shouldn't be reactive, you should be proactive, right? So on top of pushing court reform, you should also push court packing. I think you should push both at the same time. I think that you should push court reform 70% of the time when talking about the issue, and you should push court packing 30% of the time when you're talking specifically about the courts. But yeah, that's just, my fucking guesstimate.
You ask the public,
does Tiny even respond to this video? He's busy. He's like busy out there.
Like, hey, do you support X policy?
With Empath Chan, okay?
support is typically higher when you keep it vague, and then it usually gets lower when you get into specifics. 76% in favor. Okay. Maybe not in the 80s, but I don't know. Maybe it's depending on the poll, but I'm pretty sure there's enormous support for reforming the court. That's fine. That's completely fine to run on that. So if the Democratic Party decided, okay, let's rebrand the party, let's like, what are the 5 things we want to focus on? I would be fine if court reform is one of those things. Court expansion is exceptionally, well, I don't know, that's a bit hyperbolic. Court expansion is it's just unpopular. It's just really unpopular. Packing the court is just one method of court reform. I understand that. What I'm saying is that you should not include that in your pitch.
No, you should.
TMZ is reporting that Trump might pardon Diddy. I saw that, yeah. Akeem meant about secret plans for expansion. There's really no such thing as like secret plans, just to be clear. If there was like if we're talking about like, the top 10 people in Democratic leadership or 5 in a dimly lit back room smoking cigars and plotting the next, 10 to 20 years, which I don't even think is a thing. I would just, pretty sure that's not even a thing. But like any kind of like secret proposal would be public right away. So I just don't think that Democrats right now have the option of trying to like aggressively persuade the public. There's just not a strong precedent for this kind of thing, shifting public opinion that drastically. I mean, especially now when the party's numbers are pretty bad, like actually, historically bad, and we don't really have clear leadership. We don't really have a clear sense of what the party platform is going to look like in 2028. Like, do you really think the Democratic Party right now is in a strong...
Who wants to pardon Diddy? Dude, I'm telling you, okay? Nothing's crazier than the Diddy party. Trump wants to attend one of these parties, dude. He has the predilections for it.
Strong position to convince... It would need to be at least like... You would have to shift public polling at least like 25, 35 points. New Gallup poll has Dems having gained on party ID. Dems lead by 7 points versus a tie at the start of the year. I did see that, yeah. I did see that. Obama CIA director referred to for criminal prosecution. Wait, what? John Brennan lied to Congress. Today we referred him to the Department of Justice for criminal prosecution. All right, well, good luck with that. Because they never stand on business. I mean, I just don't know what to... To me, like, listen, somebody's going to have to explain to me the logic of running on an issue that polls in the low 30s. At some point, you got to stop saying, Hutch is just a pussy and he doesn't want to fight. Okay, great. I'm a pussy. I have a giant flappy pussy. Great. I don't want to fight. Great. I'm a big pacifist. I'm a big old pussy. Okay, great. Grant you that. Okay. You still have to explain to me the logic of running on, like aggressively running on and making kind of like a central pillar of your campaign, of running on expanding the court, which polls in the low 30s. Like at some point you have to reconcile that. And if you're saying like, okay, well, just get out there and change people's minds. Are you suggesting that you think it's feasible that the Democratic Party is going to change like the leadership? Like they're going to change people's minds. They're going to shift public opinion by at least 25 points. Probably you would need to shift the public opinion closer to like 35 or 40 points. You would just have to explain what that looks like. What does that look like?
What? It's easy. You dedicate, listen, all right? You just dedicate enough time in your fucking pitch as to equal the fucking public opinion on it, okay? 30% court support, 30% of the pitch, okay? 80% support, like court reform, you spend 70%. All right? It's fucking flawless, okay? I'm a fucking genius.
Like you're gonna have to explain that, right? We need to create the conditions for victory, not wait for them. Please, guys, I'm begging you. I'm on my knees, begging you guys. Please don't give me vague notions. Okay?
Pause.
I don't care. I don't care about vague notions. I want you to get into the details. Trump ran on tariffs. They are unpopular. They're unpopular.
Dude, you know what this reminds me of? This kind of reminds me of like whenever Hassan was like trying to react to Ethan Klein's like content nuke. But in order to prevent Ethan Klein to make a good point and for people to internalize it, instead, like he tries to make the response as long as possible so then people aren't able to internalize it, instead of having the bad point speak for itself. right? Like instead of having the bad point speak for itself, like you have to provide like 5 times the yap of the segment that you just watched. So then just so then you are able to convince your audience that Destiny is the one that's wrong. Like that's what it kind of reminds me of. And this is like a legitimate strategy. For people who are responding to allegations or something, it's a legitimate strategy that it's like a psychological effect where when the audience sees more of the person that is responding to them, then they will be on their side more because you'll have more time to internalize them and it'll look like the person has more nuance as well. So just so you know, okay, this is something that people do. It's a legitimate thing and people do it on purpose, okay?
Now, the polling for the tariffs were like 55 when he was running. Then Americans learned what tariffs are and what they do, and they were like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, they zone out. That's right.
If having clean air that contains oxygen had an approval rating of 1%, would you not allow Dem to message to try to convince voters? To be clear, I did not say that Democrats should not try to shift public opinion. I said that it can't come from leadership. You cannot have Democratic Party leaders telling the public, we're going to expand the court if you guys give us the power to do so. It can't come from them.
Well, dude, I'm sorry. What's the point of like fucking content? Like, what's the point of even pushing anything then if we're not going to have like the loudest voices doing it? Like the entire point of trying to like garner political willpower is that you have the loudest voices advocating for something, right? But okay.
Anyways, whatever. I don't know why I'm getting stun locked. To just watch the video because we get into it. I do in principle, but I think the difference between you and me is I think you need to be very strategic about like when you make that push. Because when you make the push, it better be the time that you actually get it done. You can't make that push and then fail because the Republicans will do it 1,000% the second they get back in power. You understand what I'm saying? Like that needs to be a shot. But don't.
By the way, I just want to say there's no point in having like content creators push an idea, but then the politicians do not push the idea. Okay. Because the thing is that like if you're trying to push an issue forward, like the best way is to have like the loudest voices like do so. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. It's so stupid. Whatever.
If you succeed that shot, even if you succeed, if you succeed, why wouldn't they do it when they get back in power?
Well, they probably will. That's the thing. It's going to be a back and forth thing at that point, you know. Like, and then
I want to double check on this. So your hesitation is not that they will do it too.
Ghost, thanks so much for 16 months. Have you gone over the Plattner stuff from today yet?
Yikes.
No, I think we're probably going to focus exclusively on this today, and then Plattner sat down with Tommy Vitor and spoke with him about the Reddit stuff, and we'll definitely watch that tomorrow. If you're saving that, or if you're planning on watching that today, save it for tomorrow. We'll watch it together. We'll open the stream by watching that.
Maybe first.
It would have to be. You would have to pass some kind of. I don't know if this would require constitutional
amendment.
You would have to package in reforms with expand. Wait, did I have a conversation with Daniel Naroditsky?
This is a crazy boss.
Did we do chess lessons together? All those videos are unlisted.
What?
The reason tariffs became 55% is Trump used his capital to make it seem like a solution to people's problems. Not all issues are created equal. Like some issues are stickier. Some polling is much more difficult to shift, and the public, the American public, seems pretty firm. Let me see if I can find what's his name again?
What the fuck?
Naroditsky? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Hello, hard mode
with that person.
Nice, good one. Thank you, Hutch.
No, I don't think it did. I feel like you came into the stream once or twice. I honestly don't remember. I was drinking a lot back then, so my memory is not great. I was drinking every day, lots of alcohol every day. All right, sorry.
We have not yet started the video, by the way. Great stuff.
Sorry. I'm sorry. So you would have to package in like the people vote on Supreme Court justices instead of them being appointed in the affirmative Senate. You would have to.
Oh, sorry, we already started it. I just didn't notice that it's already started.
Some of these reforms might require, well, I guess it really depends on how the Supreme Court interprets it, right? Because the Supreme Court might say, yeah, it's not constitutional, it's federal statute.
Remember, I'm mostly like focusing on Destiny's commentary. Good one, Hutch. Good memes.
Others might say, no, you need a constitutional amendment to modify Section 3 of the Constitution. No, but my point is, I've come to terms with, I've accepted that any sort of reform we make to the court, the Republicans will either try to undo or to escalate on their side. I've accepted that if we expand the Supreme Court, if and when they get back into power, they're almost certainly going to do the same. But I currently view the precedent as untenable to begin with, because it's not like we have a balanced court. It's not like we're taking things that's balanced more or less and, making a risky gamble to unbalance it only for it to whipsaw back even more extreme. It's already tilted in their favor pretty massively.
This reminds me of so many conversations I had with like sin Marxism, by the way. Like there's a conversation I had like 2 months ago about he was making the argument that AOC and Bernie should just do a clean break from the party because things are already maximally bad. And so if they did a clean break and then that led to more Republican wins, well, what difference does it make? Because things are already as bad as they're going to get right now.
Totally different.
So unbelievably myopic, like a complete lack of imagination. Like you really can't imagine things getting worse. I think you're doing kind of the same thing right now. Like you really can't imagine things getting worse with like 6 more Supreme Court justices that are conservatives. You really can't. I just don't know.
I suppose I can imagine again going from, and again I don't know what the success rate is at the moment. I haven't looked it up, but all I know is he's on winning streak so far with the Supreme Court. And he kept even when he was out of power with the immunity decision, but since he's been back in power, he's now winning streak.
What about after the election in 2020? Like the Supreme Court definitely checked Donald Trump when it came to his challenges to the legitimacy of the election.
No, that was all the first. Apparently, no, that was he lost factually now.
What is Destiny saying here? My understanding, hold on, how many Supreme Court decisions came
What's going
about
on?
as a result of Trump challenging the 2020 results? Like, if the Supreme Court refuses to hear a case, that is them like checking him.
Ooh,
Like
ambrosia.
he wanted to steal the election, and the court said no. By declining to even hear the case, that is them like, and my point stands. You know, maybe that wouldn't have happened if the Republicans were in a position to expand the court and add, you know, at that point there are no rules. Fucking add 10 conservatives. Who gives a fuck, right? One of the most prominent cases is Texas v. Pennsylvania, which
There is no rules. There is no rules. There's no more rules. Hutch, my friend,
the court denied standing
you're an old man. You're an old man living in a new world, and this new world will swallow you up and spit you back out as bones.
on December 11th, 2020. Another is the petition of Donald J. Trump for president versus Bookvar, which the court did not grant full consideration, and thus no merits decision was issued. Overall, sources note SCOTUS rejected a handful of cases related to the 2020 election. I don't know what the exact number is. It says at least 2 to 3. Yeah, that sounds about right. Now, chat, tell me if you agree or you disagree. I'm just going to make a claim, and then you can say if you think the claim is correct or not. So just type correct or incorrect after I make this claim, okay?
What? It's just that's so corny. Whatever. Just like commentate, chill.
The odds of the Supreme Court allowing Donald Trump to steal the 2020 election skyrocket if Republicans had expanded the court and added, we'll say, 5 justices. Okay. There you go.
Oh my god, this is gonna make the reaction so much longer.
I don't really, come on. Are some of you guys really saying, like, no? Stop playing with me. Stop playing games. Not in 2020. Incorrect. Stop playing with me, you guys. Stop. You're being silly. Of course. The odds go up. Wait, okay, you disagree? Explain. Explain yourself. Unpack that for me. Bad framing. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means.
No, I'm talking about in terms of its attitude and posture. I don't
Wait, I actually
Oh my god, kill me. Just end me, end me, end me, end me, end me.
hate that he let him get away with that. Hold on.
and I think that the court now.
That's the same point now. What are you talking
Do you think that they're checking? No, yes, I agree. But that was the court then. That was the court then. I think that the court now.
about? That's the same point now.
Even when he was out of power with the immunity decision, since he's been back in power, he's now winning the
What about after the election in 2020? Like, the Supreme Court definitely checked Donald Trump when it came to his challenges to the legitimacy of the election.
They barely checked it, but what they really protected was like that Texas didn't have standing to challenge, but that was like a crazy case. Texas wanted to fight over how other states ran their elections, but they did give him a really important provision related to his behavior in 2020, which is that they changed the fucking constitution to let the fucking insurrectionist run in the next election. They deleted part of the 14th Amendment to give Trump a free pass to run again. That was
If the claim here is that the court is bad and has handed down some awful decisions and has delivered Trump many, many wins, I'm not going to deny that. I never made the claim that the current court,
I haven't denied
never
that,
denied that the current court
sir,
is extremely bad and has
nerd,
enabled a lot of horrible Trump
Dork.
actions. That is patently obvious.
patently
My point
obvious.
was that, okay, things are really bad, but they could be worse. They could be a lot worse. That's not me finding silver lining either, or finding silver lining. That's not me saying like the court's not that bad. It's just a factual statement. It could actually be so much worse. They could also be better. That's true. What do you think the odds? Let's put it a different way. All right, let's avoid specifics, because some of you guys seem to be I don't know if you're being contrarians or if you're being debate bros. Okay, but like,
Are you being specific, Andes?
could the general how do I phrase this? Would the possibility of even more really bad decisions that set really bad precedents and enable
that
Trump's
fucking
worst instincts, okay? Could the volume of those decisions, would they be likely to go up? Would we be likely to get more really bad decisions if the Republicans expanded the court?
Pay attention to Jay Graves and NTC in chat. Hardcore sweeping in action.
in my opinion, the answer to this
Those are
question
his
is
mods.
self-evident.
Are these the fuckers that are preventing Destiny from coming back to form a bridge with Hutch? Anti-content.
There's an obvious answer to this question. Because
They really don't like
otherwise,
Destiny?
the case that you're making to me right now, and let me just ask both chats, like how many of you guys are making this case? Okay, you ready? Here's the case. The court is already as bad as it can possibly be. It essentially couldn't get any worse. How many of you guys are saying that?
That's such a dumbass question. I just want to let you guys know that, okay? Because you should never evaluate the Supreme Court based off of it in a vacuum. Yes, the court is its worst, right? Like, technically anything can become worse, right? Like, technically everything can become worse. But obviously, we're not evaluating the court in a vacuum. We're evaluating also based off of like what the Republicans might do, right? And that's also part of Hutch's argument. Like, he cares about how the Republicans respond or retaliate due to changes in the court. But my response is just that you got to get ahead of the game. You got to like try to instill that fucking rhetoric into the fucking Democrats to pack the courts, because the thing is otherwise the Republicans will do it first. Do you know what the Republicans do when the Democrats take a position? Take the opposite position. Okay, when the Republicans take a position, they are reactive. Okay, a lot of times before they are reactive. They are trying to go against that decision. There is no like absolute guarantee that they will retaliate, and even if they retaliate, it's because they were planning to retaliate this entire time. Okay, and they just found their willpower to do so. Because why is it that they can utilize Green Lantern theory whenever they want, but we can't? What an absolute fucking retarded like line of commentary.
If you're saying it could get worse, let's not get bogged down into the specific hypotheticals. You take issues with my particular hypotheticals? Okay, fine. But the gist of what I'm getting at is, could it get worse? Is it maximally bad? You recognize that it can get worse, then you recognize the risk of aggressively pushing for court expansion when Republicans currently have the power to expand the court. That's what I'm getting at.
Oh my god. He's weak. This is a weakling. This is a weakling. Do not become a weakling. This is a weakling. This is a person with no political willpower in his life, okay? We're not even talking about willpower when it comes to politics. This guy lacks willpower in his life, okay?
It's pretty bad. Listen, I'm not gonna fight you on that. It's pretty fucking bad. It's pretty fucking bad right now.
Yeah.
What can we imagine might happen with 6 more conservatives?
A huge cover for what happened in 2020. So I shouldn't let him get away with that one. That was huge cover.
Do you think that they're checking? No, yes, I agree. But that was the court then. That was the court then. I think that the court now.
I mean, I don't know if Destiny's misinterpreting what I'm saying, because I think maybe Destiny, I could be wrong. I think maybe Destiny's interpreting what I'm saying as, well, it's not that bad, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it could get worse, like a lot worse. Now, what are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about in terms of its attitude and posture. I don't think the Supreme Court in 2025 is the same court as it was in 2020.
You're saying you think the same court would, like, if Donald Trump were to challenge 2028, you think they would just go along with it?
Oh, I don't know about that specific apples to apples comparison, but my point is, like,
that's a big deal, right? Like,
I do agree that that's a big deal, but my point is,
that's the risk I'm talking about. You're saying just take a swing and fuck it. They're just gonna add Supreme Court justices, whatever. Well, what if they add so many justices that are so deranged that, you know, they literally steal the election in 2028? I'm
just trying to figure out what you think the alternative is.
Wait, hold on. That's a huge
Wait, stop. No, here's my point. You asked me a question because your way has gotten us here. We're roughly the cusp of losing, very likely.
I don't even know what that means.
We're taking no risks with the Supreme Court by thinking the Supreme Court is this fucking sacrosanct institution that if we look at it the wrong way, it's going to cause, I don't know, this massive political catastrophe for us. We're already on the cusp of political catastrophe because so many people, you included, think that it's like you're playing with fucking dynamite.
The point of the whole line of questioning.
I'm going to commentate on the commentary, by the way. FYI, I'm going to commentate on the commentary. By the way, I just want to let you guys know that Hutch has like repeated himself like at least 50 times like this time around. Every single point that he makes like goes back to, well, I'm afraid of retaliation. Just like count how many times that he says this, by the way.
That I just went with you guys, a moment ago, was that really the...
I hope Destiny reacts to the Foodshops VOD. Hey, just keep the cycle going, okay?
Only way that you could defend doing this strategy, despite the very, very real risk of it backfiring in the sense that Republicans just get ahead of it and expand the court now while they have the power to do it. The only way that you could defend that is if you hold the position that things are already maximally bad. That's the only thing that makes sense. Or you would have to have some reasonable basis to believe that the short-term sort of badness as a result of an expanded Supreme Court with 6 more fucking conservative justices, you would have to make a compelling argument that we could overcome that.
Show Hutch and Destiny, as seen in the attached image, fighting each other with giant purple pickles.
Jesus Christ. And I just don't think you can do that, because like when I envision what a Supreme Court that has been expanded by Republicans preemptively because they heard a bunch of Democratic leadership say, we're going to expand the court the next time you guys give us power. We're going to really try to do that, and we really want to do that. I think it's a virtual.
By the way, I just want to say it's not like I dislike Hutch, okay? Because I know that Hutch actually has the Destiny anti-fans on his ass right now, okay? But like I just want to say that like Hutch does seem like a really nice guy. Like he does seem like a person whom like would be fun to hang around, in the sense that he's like the person who is down to earth and you're the person who is like more hyper, right? Like I kind of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get my fucking burrito with my fucking favorite friend Hutch out there. But just when it comes to political commentary, it's just like such a extremely flawed it's such an extremely flawed piece of commentary, rather, right? Like, I'm not saying that he's not a bad person for saying all this stuff. I think that there's just some fundamental flaw with his character that also contributes to his politics, right? Being afraid of retaliation, being afraid of like backlash, right? Like I noticed that the way that he thinks about literally everything is being extremely cautious, right? Like I don't hate Hutch. I really like this guy. But it's just that like you can't just spend 9 hours every day either focusing on Destiny or focusing on Hassan or focusing on Kaya. Okay, I'm sorry. You're not doing the best when you're doing something like that. You're not contributing towards the fall of Donald Trump when you are spending 9 hours on Hassan's dog, okay? Not even I can focus 9 hours on Hassan's dog. How do you even do that? Like, you can't tell me you're doing the most pragmatic thing possible by focusing on Hassan's dog for 9 hours every day. Okay, that's crazy to me. Okay, yeah,
certainty that Republicans will try to get ahead of that and just get rid of the filibuster and add more justices. I think even Susan Collins, would go along with this, right? And I think the obvious risk, the most obvious risk, if they do that, is that they stack the court with so many lunatics that
you can totally do that, absolutely, but it depends on what you claim to do, right? Because if you claim to just be a drama slop content creator like I am, I have every excuse to do that, right? I have every excuse to farm Hassan the way that I want to. But the way that Hutch talks about politics is that he talks about it in a very like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and contribute to a gigantic project where we focus on pragmatism. Okay, if you say something like that, then you gotta practice that, right? Yeah, I don't know. It's just like to me, at the very least, like it just goes against what he claims to want to be.
That so, Supreme Court actually hears the cases to election challenges. Let's say a Democrat runs and a Democrat wins, and then Republicans do the same shit that they tried in 2020. And then that Supreme Court, the likelihood of them basically allowing the Republicans to steal that election go obviously way up if you add a bunch of conservatives to the court. And I can't seem to get some people in my chats to appreciate that risk. You just, somehow in your mind, you have found a way to just like, this already happened in 2000? I really don't understand that logic. I mean, like, do you think the risk of that goes up or not? Like, again, I like what I'm getting from the people that are pushing back is like, you have to have the position that things are already just like maximally bad, which is why I compared it to the conversation that I had with Cinemarxism. Because he was doing the same thing. He was using the same logic. He was saying Bernie and AOC should split from the
Remember when I was criticizing Soypill and also Erudite for like fighting Destiny in front of an audience of his enemies on a very public debate stage? Yeah, this is exactly what I mean. Okay, when you're Hutch and you spend 9 hours on Destiny, like someone from the outside, at least from the other side, will look at something like this and they'll be like, oh, what the fuck? They're fighting like this? So fucking cringe. This is why we're always going to win. Look how weak and divided these people are. Like these two liberals who both hate lefties, and who both hate conservatives can't even keep their shit together. Don't you know that you should just like be pro-Republican? Like, yeah, like again, this shit is not good.
Democratic Party. And honestly, if that causes total Republican dominance in electoral politics, if they just if they end up with 80 seats, enough seats in the Congress to pass constitutional.
And like also there's like more reach. Hutch also gets, right? Like Hutch gets to the front page of LSF. That's big. That's pretty damn big. That's a lot of people watching, okay? Like just outside, you don't want people checking out your channel, looking at your channel and be like, oh, well, here's a 9-hour stream on Destiny. Oh, well, oh, look at this. Oh, it's a 9-hour stream on Kaya.
Amendments.
Dude.
Which that is the risk, right? Like if Bernie literally started his own left-wing party, that's what would happen. Like 1,000%, that's what would happen. They would have big enough majorities to do constitutional amendments. And when I posed that hypothetical to Cinemarxism, he kept pushing back by saying, like, we're already fucked. Like, everything is already completely fucked. That's the black pill. That's what I mean in the title when I say Destiny is taking the black pill. Because if that's what you're saying, then okay, like I'm willing to hear arguments for like why you think things are already maximally bad. I think I could even be persuaded, right? Like if you were to make a compelling argument that the track we're on is just inevitably headed to maximally bad, so in effect things are already maximally bad. You could try to make those arguments. Like so far for me, like those arguments are not particularly strong.
Nah, I don't think these arguments even matter in the first place, okay? Like, even if you, like, whether or not you say things are maximally bad or things are not maximally bad, if we both agree that, like, Republicans could do something regardless of whether or not the Democrats want it or not, then we can both agree on the prescription. It doesn't matter, like, what the worst case scenario is or if we're living in the worst case scenario. What matters right now is that if we analyze the Republicans' behavior, like, it doesn't matter what the Democrats do. Like, what they'll do is that they will like do whatever it is necessary and make up whatever excuse is possible to enact the change that they want. Like it doesn't matter like what state we're in. It matters on the pattern of behavior that they have, right? Yeah. I do respect that he wants to dispel any idea that he won't engage with criticism. Sure, but then it's like, why would you have a 9-hour thing with Destiny, exasperate the issue, and not like talk with Destiny directly? Like at this point, you might as well just debate him directly. Like you're practically doing everything already, right?
You're asking the wrong question. Things can always get worse. Is it maximally bad is dumb? No, it gets right to the core of like what we're talking about here.
No, it doesn't.
I don't see...
It really doesn't.
So when I talk about the risk of Republicans saying, well, fuck you guys, like we have power now, we're just going to get rid of the filibuster and add 6 Supreme Court justices. To me, it's not a risk. That's like that's a certainty. It is, I don't know if it's 6 Supreme Court justices, maybe it's like 2 or 3 more, I don't really know. But like that is 1000% what they will do. Like it's just very predictable that they'll do that. You are. You start taking risks, no, but you are playing with dynamite if you do this. You said that my...
Wait, Foodshops, you're playing right into his bullshit. He actually has the same exact prescriptions and agrees with everything. He just wants to complain about it. Okay. I'm going to explain. And then I'm going to ban you, okay? So the reason why you're wrong is because if you actually listen to any of my fucking stream or coverage, okay, you'll understand that what I said was that, like, my exact prescription is that when you're talking about the court specifically, you should contribute 30% of your talk about the courts to be about court packing and 70% of your talk to contribute towards court reform, okay? No. That is not what Hutch's prescription is. Hutch's prescription is to contribute 100% to court reform and 0% to court packing, okay? So basically, he doesn't advocate for politicians pushing for political willpower. That is a weak position, all right? We completely disagree. I just got here. Okay, fine. I'll spare you for once, okay?
Way led us here, but I think that's a really flawed way of looking at it because I think your way very plausibly could have led to 10 more conservatives on the Supreme Court.
You know, it's possible.
Which would be worse
I do know in this timeline where Democrats are like, yeah, if it's fucking on the Supreme Court, let's just bitch about it. That's all we do.
Since you're a member,
You have to be smart, is what I'm saying. You can set this as a goal.
What is the Hutch smart approach? Because again, I'm gonna push back on this. We've talked about this on Living Learn exhaustively. You push back every time. Your excuse is it's a low salience issue. And I'm like, okay, Hutch, how about we try to make it a high salience issue? And you're like, no, you don't want to do best.
I didn't say that. No, but
you do believe Democrats should be talking about this.
What
what I said was they should be trying to make this a high salience issue, but you have to be very fucking shrewd about it.
I'm all for shrewdness. The baton is yours. You walk me through the shrewdness.
I'm not. I don't have a Machiavellian mind. Like I don't know if I can give you the sort of strategy that you're looking for.
Just give me broad strokes, because I don't know how you do it.
You have to have a mandate from the public. That's what it comes down to. You have to have a situation where like 60, 70, 75% of the public would agree to something like that. Like you have to have that. Yes. You can't announce that this is an official part of your platform. You can't announce or telegraph to the public that this is going to be like one of the core, 3 to 5 things that you guys are running on. Like that can't be your pitch. in the sense of if you elect us and give us power, we will do this. You can't do that until you sufficiently.
By the way, this is a straw man. Okay, literally no one is saying that. No one is saying make this a core part of your platform. No one is saying make this the top 5. Okay? All people are advocating for is for people to talk about it. It's really as simple as that, okay? Like, this is retarded.
Swing enough voters to support that kind of an action. It's just horrible politics. It's horrible politics. Why not? 60% of Dems want it. Not running on it depresses turnout and enthusiasm. That's actually horrible. Like, if only 60% of Democrats support it? Are you asking me why not run on a really unpopular platform? Are you really asking me this question? There's no way you need that explained.
Yeah, because you said that 30% of the American populace is for it, right? But that also includes the Republicans who are like against everything that the American they're against everything that Democrats do or suggest, right? So you need to be able to factor in like what the Democrats think about it. If they believe in 60%, yeah, you should start pushing for it. Absolutely.
To steel man their position, how do
Yeah, 60% of Dems is a huge margin. That's the base that you're trying to turn out to elections. Of course you should run on that. Are you fucking kidding me? If it's true that it's 60% of Democrats, then yeah, like say no more. I'll run that as a part of my main ticket. Like, what the fuck?
you go from current state to a mandate from the public without leadership indicating support?
Like, motherfuckers, people are running on Israel and Palestine at like 50% approval. Like, oh my god, dude, give me a break.
You would have to have leadership. Like,
That's
first,
so boring.
I think it's like a really. I think that you so like if Democratic leadership makes court reform a central pillar of their platform, I think that's really strong. There's broad support for that. The Supreme Court keeps handing down bad decision after bad decision after bad decision that the public broadly disagrees with. That is laying the foundation. Like, starting off from a position of we want to do term limits and we want to maybe change the process
Also, he acts like the other 40% cares enough to not vote for Dems. Exactly.
a little bit of like how these like somehow like
Exactly. Smart observation.
find a way to make it more democratic. You can build off of that. But in the meantime, you can't run on something like this until you have enough support from the public. I'm kind of struggling because it's like, I really don't think it needs to be explained why politicians and political parties generally don't run on extremely unpopular, major transformational policies.
Oh my
A policy of
God.
running on, we're going to expand the court, that is so much more profound, impactful, transformational than Trump running on, I'm going to pass tax cuts through budget reconciliation. These are very different things. No, it's not unpopular. It just objectively is. I don't know what to tell you. Like, listen, go do some research. Go down a rabbit hole and just look up how unpopular expanding the court is.
Okay, I'm tired of this. I'm still the editor for my own channel, but until that changes, I will still be editing. Otherwise, like, I'm looking forward to streaming later, like streaming into like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. my time. If once I get editors for my channel, yeah, like I am totally okay with doing 7-hour streams or 6-hour streams. Once I get editors, okay? Totally fine with that. But right now, I need time to edit. Hold on. Can YouTube just like stop? Like, I don't know whether or not like the live stream thing is like, it's fine. We'll save this. This will become a series, I think, of this one specific VOD. Sure, I'll make a series out of this. Good farming. Join my server, discord.gg/foodshops, please. Discord.gg/foodshops. All right. Discord.gg/foodshops. Join. Become one of us. All right. We're just a better community. All right. Way better than DGG chat. Way better than DG server. Okay. It's not even close. We actually have cis woman. What? That's crazy. Yeah, I know. Okay, wait, hold on. Oh yeah, go to kick for my bots. I haven't rated this person before. Okay, I love you guys. I'll see you guys later. I love you guys.